Welcome to another Amigos. I'm gonna die soon. I'm very tired. This is all-in weekend.
All in!
I'm interviewing famous dick wrestler.
Am I alive? Am I dead? Am I a hologram? Speaking of dicks, we're covering our boners. I can't get comfortable in this corner, can I do this? Is that too close? Is that? I'm better
No,
here
I mean me and
camera?
oh wait, yeah.
I've totally killed your intro to this.
There is no intro.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll just try to make the best of it.
I should move over.
You guys want to move over?
No, I'll make the best of it. I'll just kind of comfortably try to look cool.
How's this?
Can I look cool?
You can definitely move over if you want.
No. Come
Are you
back.
comfortable?
Yeah, come back.
Are you actually comfortable?
Yeah, I'm gonna kick my shoes off. Is that okay?
I will too then, just so you don't feel
my shoes off. There we are.
Self-conscious.
Boom.
But
Boom.
you can put your feet up here too.
I'm not gonna do that. I'll go back and forth on it.
All right, I'm gonna do it.
All right. How much time have we eaten off the clock already? How many minutes in this interview are we?
Well, we need to get close to 90 as possible.
Okay.
So High Spots is satisfied with their.
High Spots, who've they ever beaten?
Smart Mark video for one.
Oh!
Damn, did you think the audio picked that up?
We'll see.
Seth over there shooting. Jeez.
Shoot.
Anyways,
Call him Seth the Shooter.
famous dick wrestler, Joey
Hey.
Ryan.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Yeah. Also a promoter of bar wrestling, which you can watch on High Spots Network right now.
It is. You should turn this off and go watch.
Best $9.99 in the biz. So Joey Ryan forces me to have competitive, athletic, and good wrestling matches on his shows.
Meanwhile, I do shitty comedy on my shows.
And on my shows. But
I want to put you in good spots where you'll be able to showcase your talent and ability.
you're the only one in wrestling that's like, oh wow, that Ethan Page guy has talent and ability.
You're welcome.
Thanks, man. But specifically, go out of your way to see myself versus Brody King. Actually, me and Brian Cage was fun too.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the two bar shows you should watch. Definitely, just for me.
Yeah.
So
I gave you some big boys.
Yeah, you did. I don't like wrestling people that are bigger than me. Do you?
You know how jacked you are. Brian Cage ain't got shit on you.
This is already my favorite one.
You know they're the same weight.
Oh.
Yeah, but he was making fun of me last night. He's like, yeah, I'm 260, but I don't look like that 260. And I was like, wow, what a jerk.
Hey man, I'm 260, but I don't look like that 260. That's my Brian Cage. That's
pretty
my
much
Brian
it.
Cage. I love Brian.
All right, I want to get to the nitty gritty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got 87 more minutes to kill, but go ahead.
Where did the old Joey Ryan go when the dick stuff started?
I wrestled for 15 years before the dick stuff started, so you have to be more specific at time.
Yeah, you wrestled for 15 years.
Yeah.
You have to remember, too, like, how you don't have to answer this because this might hurt your feelings. How old are you?
I'm 38.
Okay. So you have to remember, I'm 28, right?
Yeah.
So I'm 10 years younger than you.
Yeah.
So I watched Joey Ryan in PWG as a fan.
Yeah, makes sense, time-wise.
Right.
PWG's been around since 2003.
Yeah. And I started wrestling in 2006 and didn't start taking it serious until like 2010, 12, 18.
When did you stop taking it serious? Because that's when you really make it. That's when you can stop taking it serious.
I started taking it very serious in 2011, and I stopped taking it serious maybe like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once you got all that Monster Mafia stuff out of your system.
What?
You and Josh having like crazy matches.
Yeah, that's true.
And then you're like, oh, I don't need to have these crazy matches anymore. I can just have fun.
That's true.
And then you come to my shows and I give you crazy matches.
Which is all, I'm like, what are you doing? So is that what you're in right now? Having fun?
Yeah, I think, it's... So, long 15 years of wrestling, probably 13 or 14 of them with the goal, even when I was in TNA, even 13 or 14 of them with the goal to get to WWE. And then I kind of some stuff happened in like 2013 where I was like, nuts to that place. I don't want to go there anymore. I almost quit wrestling actually, and then I had a match with Drake Younger. It saved my wrestling career, which we can get into if you want. But
can we?
I guess we do have the time. But we'll go back to that because just about the time where I said like, I'm not gonna, because I think when that's your goal and you think like you want to wrestle that style or you want to like. You worry like, oh, they might see this video, so I don't want to do this outlandish, ridiculous thing. Once I kind of gave that up and just was like, I'm just gonna have fun with this, and then I'll go to DDT and they start pitching me all these dick spots, and I'm like, yeah, let's do all the dick spots, and then one goes viral. Then all of a sudden it's like,
yo, can we talk about that?
We can talk about whatever you want.
This is.
Are we going back to everything?
Yeah.
Should take notes.
Yeah, this is all just prefacing for the next 90 minutes, guys. Yeah. Just letting you know.
This is a table of
contents.
Because
I talked to you about this before.
Yeah.
Because the dick flip thing.
Yeah.
Originated in Canada.
Was it a Sexy Eddie thing?
Yes.
Okay. Did he do it with Dino? And that's what Dino.
I have no clue.
I'm fairly certain that Dino's done that a few times, like recycled the spot.
Yeah. So because I talked to you about it,
yeah.
Because you had a match with Sexy Eddie in Ottawa for C4.
And then recently in Montreal for
LDDC.
Yeah.
And did he say anything?
No, he's always been very nice, and I tell him, I'm like, hey, or like when we talk, we're like, hey, we're like obviously on like the same, like, but basically our match has just become about the dick.
The dick.
Or the dick versus dick.
Yeah.
Like immovable object, irresistible force kind of deal. But he's never mentioned to me anything about like being upset that like my thing went viral. Which maybe he's just a super nice guy. Maybe he just doesn't want to say it to me. Maybe he's really kind. He did mention last time that because we did some stuff that we.
Sorry if this is weird for you, by the way. Or
no. I like Eddie, and obviously I wish I've known Eddie for years now. He came to PWG.
Yeah.
Probably more than 10 years ago, so I like this last time we were like, let's do some really like crazy like dick stuff and. Because he's like, I want to kind of like get a buzz going, and like I feel like we can. And so but it's hard. You can't plan viral videos. It's hard.
No, you can't.
And we did some really like insane like dick versus dick spots. Like he's got a great mind. He's got tons of them. We did like where we like drop kick each other, but we like scissor each other.
Yeah.
Like the world implodes or whatever. It's just like real crazy like whose dick's gonna falter first kind of thing. And it was really fun, and it actually like. Told a good story, but and like I know he's like yeah, I'm getting a little older. I kind of want to make one last run. I want to try to get some buzz going, and people did. I mean, that did get a lot of retweets and a lot of likes from me when I posted that stuff.
Do you think he's like,
but
man, look at PCO, like I need to get my shit together?
Maybe, but like that stuff's just so hard. You can't like plan any of that. It
just
happens. Like you can't like. Everyone thinks it's so easy. Oh, you got a viral video. It's not easy. It's not. Like,
yeah, it's organic.
It's organic. Like I mean, right now, currently, not probably by the time this comes out, but like Dan Barry's got one going around right now with the
yeah.
And that's.
But do you think that is because of the video, or do you think that is because of the responses with like Jim Cornette and stuff like that?
Well, that's hard to say too, because like a lot of the notoriety and talk I get nowadays is like. I don't really have to say much or argue either side because there's such a divide between like the people who love it and the people who hate it. Like if everyone loved it, it would be the worst thing for me because like then there would be no conversation. But the fact that like half the people love it, half the people hate it, they argue amongst themselves, and I don't have to say a word about it. So it's kind of weird. Like
so you like your wrestling career, you live on that fine line of like which like. Right. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Right, and people get so offended and then defensive for me or of me that I don't have to do much. Like I just put out a video clip and I don't have to get in an argument about it. I just put out a video clip and let other people argue about it.
You do make a lot of like smart points though.
Yeah,
in responses when you feel it's necessary.
Yeah, and then like someone like Cody will always like message me and be like, he'll say something like. A star knows he's a star. He doesn't have to tell people he's a star. And like I'm like Cody, like because he reads my tweets. And he's like, why are you arguing with fans? Like, but Cody's from a different world. I love Cody, but he's right to a point. Like, there's no point in arguing because like you're not going to change someone's opinion on Twitter. It's just going to be a circle.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
but sorry, back to the dick.
Sorry, but yes, I do think that I have some valid points in the arguments.
Yeah, I agree. So Dino pitched the dick to you?
Yes. You want me to tell the story? I've told it a few times.
Okay.
Not on Eagles Amigos.
Okay. Oh, I kind of want to just because, like,
you have time to kill.
Well, not that, but like I think that shows like a lot of what's the opposite of having an ego?
A lot of
humility.
Seth, do you think that Mick picked that up? Or do you think it makes it think like we just came up with it?
Humility.
Ourselves?
Yeah, no, it definitely. Hopefully they heard Seth say it, but
Seth, do you need me mic'd up?
Yeah, let's get. He should be.
I don't want to be Excalibur.
Humility, because like the dick thing exploded. No pun intended, or maybe it was.
Maybe it was.
And that kind of like changed the direction of your entire like persona, career, and someone else suggested it to you.
Yeah, it wasn't.
I mean, it's all on you for running with it and turning it into a thing.
It, yeah.
Yeah, but like it shows a lot of humility for you to be like, well, no, like someone else pitched it to me.
Right. Yeah. So should I tell the story?
Yeah, please. Yeah.
So obviously, being the sleazy character, I get to, very like sexual undertones, and Dino being the character he is.
You were already doing the lollipop.
Yeah,
you were already putting your foot on the rope and rubbing your chest with
the whole thing. So my character's very sexual. Dino plays a very sexual character as well, and so this is the first time we ever wrestled, and it's actually like. What people think is like it was like a big moment. It was like an opening spot in a 6-man tag. Like it was like we all brawled around. Me and Dino got in the ring, did that spot, and then the other people came. Like we didn't. It was nothing big planned out of that.
Yeah.
But so this was the first time me and Dino were meeting. So they kind of built it up a little bit. So Dino he's a very creative guy. He thought that to do something that like he wouldn't normally do, or apparently normally does because he does it all the time. Steal sexy idea. So he was just like, because he does a thing where like, so the political correctness in Japan is different,
much different,
right? So he plays a gay character, and
I mean, we won the gay summit of wrestling.
We did, which you almost refused to take part in.
No!
Sorry. I'm going to get you in trouble. Let me explain.
You can't just say that.
Let me explain that. So the original idea for that match was that you had to kiss your opponent before you could beat him.
Yeah.
And you being a very faithful family man, married man.
Wasn't
that it was a man. It was a kiss. It was a kiss in general.
And I was like, sure, hands on lips. It said no, lips to lips, and I said, oh no, no kissing. Married.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then never going back. I'm sure. No. So yeah, no, it wasn't that it was a man. It was because that you're very faithful to your wife.
Although you just threw around the bus. Yeah, which you refused to take part in.
Right.
The gay wrestling summit.
Yeah. Someone's gonna chop that.
Don't put that in the trailer.
Yes, that's the trailer. So anyway, so Dino. He does a thing where he like grabs his opponents by the nuts, and while they're like, "Oh my god, why is this dude grabbing my nuts?" He like suplexes them or
he like sodomizes them.
Dragon screw leg whips them or whatever. So he normally wrestles Japanese guys. So he pitched to me in the spot. He said in his broken English, he says, "Maybe I grab, but maybe you no sell because American cock is so big and so strong."
Oh, okay.
And I was like, "Well, yeah, but." So like that was it, and then we're like, well, what do I do? Because then you're just grabbing me, and I'm not no selling. And then we're like, and I said, well, maybe I'll fire up. Oh yeah, and then maybe I bump. And that was just like it was literally that. And then we like maybe talked about one more at the time before we went out, because obviously there's a language barrier there, but there's an opening spot in a 6-man tag. And then I'm very self-critical of my own stuff. Like I always think, I could have done that better. I could have made that look better when I watch it back. But like I was watching that match back, because somebody sent me like a link to like where it was like someone uploaded it online, most likely illegally. So I saw that that clip, and that generally that spot was like, okay, that's kind of funny. I had not seen the Sexy Eddie stuff. I didn't know that was a recycled spot at the time, so I just cut that 27 seconds out and threw it up on my Twitter. Came back in an hour, and I was like, oh, well, it's on ESPN now.
It's on ESPN. Holy shit!
Right. So like, it was just kind of a thing that like, I mean, it wasn't really planned for. It just kind of made me laugh, so I put it up.
And then that kind of just spiraled into
everywhere.
What you're doing now.
Yeah, and
how long ago was that?
That was in December of 2015. November of 2015, but I put the video up December 2015.
So, like 3 years.
Yeah, and like I thought maybe I would get 3 months out of it. Like, okay, I'll ride this out for a little while.
Yeah, make one T-shirt.
Right, people will be tired of it, but
nope.
Right, it's become like, and I don't like to compare myself to other wrestlers, but like it's become my stink face or my worm. You know, like people come to shows expecting to see that. So, like if you go to
Which got me out of a big argument when I booked you the first time.
Yeah.
Because I almost lost like my venue and everything.
But you advertised it, like people, you know what I mean? Like
it was Dick versus Dick. Like Gregor Iron cut a promo. He was training his dick to like go against you. And this mother was like appalled by the homosexuality.
Yeah.
So, and the way she wrote the email, it was atrocious. She was saying things like. We were suggesting that it's okay for men to be gay, and like we were pushing like our agenda on her kids. It was insane, but we advertised on a show called Wrestlers Gone Wild.
Yeah, I'm pretty as advertised too. You know what I mean? Like if people should know what they're getting.
Yeah,
and expect it. You know, like if you go watch Rikishi wrestle and he doesn't do a stink face, or Sky Chihadi wrestle, doesn't do the worm, you're like, oh man, like what happened? So, and like I said, if that was like. One woman, and there's some isolated cases where someone gets super furious about it, but like for the most part, people, it's so cartoony and it's so over the top and it's so like, and it's never sexualized in the ring. Like my character's never getting off by doing it. He wants to hit his pedigree or wants to hit his stunner. You know, if that's his move, he wants you to grab his dick so he can flip you.
Yeah.
Because he wants to win the match. Yeah. So like I said, cartoony and not sexualized.
How many people have you beat with that?
This is with the dick flip.
Yeah.
Pinned 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
0.
Really?
0. Because I want to hit it every match. I don't win every match. So I just use it. So
Genius.
So the lollipop super kick is the finisher.
Finish, yeah.
But the dick flip is just a big false finish.
Yeah.
But it's insane that everyone immediately thinks it's over when I hit it.
Yeah.
1, 2, 2.5 big kick out. Oh my god!
Because that's the big pop.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we have to because. Then I have to go home right after, we have to go to the finish right soon, quick after that, because that's the biggest pop I'll get. So yeah, like sometimes when I'm playing matches, people want me to do like multiple ones, and I'm like, it's really only good for the one pop.
I've seen you do some crazy ones though, like the Canadian Destroyer.
Right. But it's still just once in the match.
Yeah. Like you've had some unique ways into it.
Yeah. Some people want to like, oh, do it here and then do it later, and like in Japan, it's fine. I'll do it like. They want me to do it like 9 times in a match in Japan and whatever. You know, it's fine. But here, it's really only good for one pop.
Why is it okay there and not here?
I don't know. I think it's because it's...
You're going to get the same...
Yeah. Plus, Mr. Tagagi, the DDT boss, really loves it too. So he...
What was the... You were telling me a story when we were in Japan about something you were giving them to people, but like... It was like a hardcore match or...
No, it was
like a Falls Count Anywhere?
It was... so DDT does this thing called... Wrestle Anywhere,
right?
Where they like show up at campsites, They show up at like
that's what like made him famous,
parks.
I think.
Yeah. So
the Ibushi clips.
I've only ever done one, and it was at a handmade convention, which is like a
what?
Art and crafts.
Oh,
but they call it a handmade because people
make it with their hand. Yeah.
So it's a handmade convention, which is arts and crafts. So we were wrestling around this convention center, and like I just was doing it all over everywhere, like, and it was just like everyone kept like calling for it and going for it, and like it was. Like, I did one on an escalator, and the guy landed and went all the way down. It was just like, I don't know, it was just like a... But yeah, I did it several times. But for some reason, like, the Japanese audience, they no pun intended, they come up for it every time. But America, it's really only good... In, like, Australia, it's really only good for the one pop. And then kind of got to go to the finish quickly after. But yeah, well, it's only ever been a false finish.
Are you... I guess financially you're happy this happened to you.
Yeah.
Are you happy about it for your body as well?
Yeah, but I think there's a slight misconception about because if I wrestle you, maybe you're a little bit different because you add comedic elements into it too. But if I'm wrestling you and you're down to do all the dick stuff, the tease, the takeaway, the dick flip, the blow pop, the super. If you're down to do all the dick stuff that I want, that's gonna get me over. I feel like I gotta let you hit all your cool moves.
Oh yeah.
Because you're willing to do that silly stuff to make me look good and get me over. I don't ever veto big bumps, or I don't ever so I take my fair share of bumps still.
Yeah.
I always joke about it being I don't do anything now, which maybe offensively I don't.
That's not true. Yeah, I get what you're saying, but you'll still either take or give the mustache ride, which is
yeah, it's a tough
worst bump ever.
It's a tough bump.
Ever.
It knocks the wind out of me every
Spinning
time.
neckbreaker off the top
every time,
second. Oh.
Every time knocks the wind out of me.
Awful.
But yeah, so I want to make sure that you or my opponents shine as much as I am, because they're willing to do that with me.
And I guess the tough question is, do you think this has shelf life forever? Is this your worm and it'll never die?
I mean, just like you said,
do you think Joey Ryan will have to reinvent himself? Which you've done many times.
Right. I mean, there might be a time where I have to reinvent, but I don't think the dick stuff ever goes away completely. It's been 3 years, and honestly, I feel like it's still growing. No pun intended.
This is all a bunch of dick puns.
That's what the trailer's going to be. Got that, Seth?
He's taking a shit.
Taking a nap.
He's taking a nap during
our
boring ass interview.
Yeah, wow. Thanks, Seth. No big deal.
So yeah, it's lasted 3 years, and I feel like it's only I'm only making more money from it, which is weird, and I'm only getting more bookings because of it. So I feel like it's still it hasn't hit the peak and it hasn't started going down yet. But there could be a downswing where I have to reinvent. But I feel like I'll be able to do conventions forever. Even when I'm done wrestling.
That's what I mean. It is
yeah. I don't think
this will be a thing that's never forgotten.
The 3, 4, 5, 6 years that I do dick stuff will ever be that will always be what I'm known for, even if I have to reinvent. People when I'm 70 and I go to wrestling signings, it'll be the dick guy, the famous dick guy.
Yeah.
That'll be my calling.
Which is because there's guys in the Attitude Era that had short runs.
Yeah. That
are always in conventions.
Yeah.
And it's oh, this is so and so. I don't want to say anyone's name because I'm terrible with timing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they had a 2-year hot run.
Yeah.
But there's still
conventions forever.
Yeah.
Because that's such a big era in wrestling.
Right now it is too, though.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
Do you think that the Being the Elite stuff boosted the dick stuff or the Joey Ryan stock?
Yeah, and so because it definitely introduced me to a new audience, because
I don't mean in that what I mean is because I'm a big lover of storylines and storytelling, and with that avenue, so you don't really have a home promotion. I'd say you're a traveler.
Yeah.
You'll show up anywhere and everywhere, and your schedule is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Whereas the Being the Elite stuff, there's a weekly or whatever it is, bi-weekly show that's episodic that has a progressive stories that progress.
Sure.
That includes your character. So you're going to all these indie shows, but they're following what's going on Being the Elite, so they're more invested.
Yeah, and so I recently did an Australia tour with the Young Bucks, and Marty were on it, I was in Australia, and we do these meet and greets before the show, and I got a bunch of people, because obviously the Young Bucks and Marty draw a Being the Elite crowd. I got a lot of people that came up to me and were oh man, keep in mind at this point I've been wrestling for 17 years, 18 years. Oh, I never even heard of you till Being the Elite, and then I looked up all your stuff, and you're great, you're awesome. So people see me through there, and then go look me up. Same token though, I told this to Matt and Nick, and I say, hey, these guys are coming up to me, they've never heard of me till Being the Elite. And Matt goes, we have people that come up to us and say, we've never watched you wrestle, but we love Being the Elite. Because YouTube is such a thing, and YouTube stars are such a thing.
Yeah.
That people go, Ring of Honor meet and greets, people go to meet the Bucks and they don't even stay for the show. Yeah, because...
That's insane.
because the YouTube momentum is so big.
I mean, they hit 200,000. Like,
Yeah.
that's nuts. That's
Yeah.
big numbers.
Yeah.
Like, there's cable TV shows that don't do
Right.
that.
There's TV wrestling shows that don't do that.
I'm not commenting on that. Man, that's insane. How excited are you for All In?
All In should be fun.
Because this will be coming out way after.
Oh, so you're trying to get me to spill some spoilers?
Yeah.
Well,
Are you excited?
well. So here's the thing, right? So like, I obviously like, I know what works and what doesn't in the context of wrestling in my matches and the dick stuff, right? So I've got like kind of a set kind of thing that like a set kind of template I use, and I know what moments are going to get over. This sounds really bad. It sounds like I'm just like a robot when I wrestle. I'm just like, it doesn't matter, plug in whoever, I'm going to do my bits. But
My bits.
so I don't necessarily get like anxious or like excited or like nervous even when I wrestle anymore. I mean, sometimes like I'll get that like butterflies when like it's like a cool match that
I know exactly where you're going with this.
But like I was packing for All In or casting All In last night, and I told my wife, I said, "Hey Laura, like, you know what? I'm actually like kind of getting like kind of pumped about this as I'm packing. Like I packed my gear and I looked and then my closet was like, maybe I should pack my big match whites. I'm gonna pack my big match whites, and I brought my white gear and like, yeah. So like it's like I'm kind of getting like pumped for it. It's obviously this is people will see this after All In, but we're taping this the night before All In. So like
Literally the night before.
So I mean, I just hope it goes well. Like I feel like there's a lot of pressure to pay off the storyline that has been building for 6 months now.
Which you said earlier today was just supposed to be like a day or a week.
It's supposed to be like the 2 or 3 weeks. Yeah. Like we filmed all that stuff. Most of the stuff we filmed all at once, and then they just were like, because people got so into it and behind it, they just like spread the footage out and filmed more stuff to put in there. And yeah.
Okay, so I need to ask then, since we're on the topic of being the elite, Bar Wrestling
Yeah.
hosted a segment
Yeah.
on being the elite
Yeah.
with the entire cast
Yeah.
that was like insanely viral.
Yeah.
How did that come together?
Okay.
And do not take this in an offensive way
Sure.
whatsoever.
Sure.
Mathematically and financially, it doesn't make sense for the amount of people that were in that building to afford the people that were in the ring. And like, I know you know what I'm saying.
Right.
So it's like, how does this become? Because dude, that was crazy.
Right. And you know, it was a BTE segment, so it was like it was isolated from the show. So it was basically like when those guys film their stuff, it's for them and their own content, right? So
Yeah.
like, I just gave them a place to do it at.
Right. You're like, hey, you can use my set.
Yeah. Basically.
Yeah. You can finance your show.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's how that worked out. Is they needed a place to film more storyline.
And that was like
And I offered.
kept secret
Yeah.
from the boys too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not necessarily, but it was just. I mean, they came during the show and they left during the show, so it wasn't like they hung out before the show or they, and it wasn't purposely kept from anyone, but it was kind of a need to know. Like nobody was really like asking, oh, are the Young Bucks going to show up tonight? Like because it's not a normal thing.
Yeah.
So like I wasn't like telling everyone, hey, the Young Bucks come, hey, the Young Bucks. I wasn't necessarily meant to like be kept in secret. But it wasn't. I didn't go around telling everyone.
Is that still on the DVD?
I did.
Hey, High Spots.
Hey, High Spots. Is it on the network or did we cut it? Because I know there's
Might be. I don't edit the shows.
Okay.
Well, you can check it out. Do you know what the show was?
I wrestled Ryan Nemeth or Briley on it, so it would have been. Gosh, maybe.
You better know it. You name all
April?
your shows.
April
O'Neill.
April O'Neil. So you know the name of the shows.
Well, no, because that just happened. That one.
That they showed up.
No, the April show was called
April
O'Neil. But
Yeah.
what was the last April? Because that's when it was, right?
No. It was this year. It was this year.
Really?
Maybe it was it, or maybe it was it? No, it wasn't January. It was Feb. I mean, we could have Seth look it up right now.
That's what he's doing right now.
And no slow.
Well, don't blame the hotel. All right.
So yeah.
So while he's looking that up,
Yeah.
I want to stay on bar for a
Okay.
little bit.
We still have to go back and talk about Drake Younger, but yeah.
Yeah, we will
Okay.
because I want to talk about PWG
Was
too.
it was a table of contents there? Yeah, the Drake Younger match was a PWG.
Yeah. Was that the gummy bear match?
Legos and hard candy.
Yeah, both suck
Yeah.
to bump on. Okay, so bar wrestling. We just got through the Cody Young Buck segment with the piss, and that was a whole thing.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about that, but I also want to talk about Macaulay Culkin.
Okay.
How does that come about? How do you convince him to not only be in a wrestling show or on a wrestling show, but reprise his role from Home Alone 1 and 2?
Yeah.
Because I know for a fact the psychological damage, like you got to think like that guy every day people are yelling at him, not saying his real name.
Yeah, I think he probably takes that. Maybe for a while, it'll probably bother him. But I think.
Do you know what I mean, though?
Yeah, no, I get you. So we have a mutual friend, Matt Cohen, who does the Bunny Ears podcast with Macaulay Culkin. Which
I have to ask quickly.
Go ahead.
This is solely for me. It has nothing to do with this interview.
Yeah.
Who's Macaulay Culkin dating? Is it the girl from The Sweet Life of
Brenda,
Zack and
Brenda
Cody?
Song? Yeah,
She was there too, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was
Damn it! I should have taken a picture with her. I'm a Disney Channel. I grew up on that shit.
I mean, I feel like you're a little old to grow up on The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody.
I have young siblings, and we all woke up at the same time and got ready for school. Okay?
All right.
Come on, bro.
So, we have a mutual friend, Matt. Matt calls me up and says, like, hey, I want to check out the show Thursday. I was like, cool. That's fine. And he's like, Macaulay Culkin is in town. He wants to come see it, too.
And this is in December.
Yeah, December of 2017.
Yes.
So, I'm like, yeah, he can come. Of course, you guys can come. You guys can sit up on the stage or whatever. You guys, blah, blah, blah. And then, this was probably like the Monday or Tuesday before the show. It should be run on Thursdays. And then, like, on that Wednesday, I was like, I wonder if he'll get involved. You know, like, I mean, what's the worst? I pitch it, he'll say no.
He says no, yeah.
So I text Matt and I said, Matt, see if he wants to do something, like if he wants to get involved in a match. And then Matt texted me back and he was like, are you free right now? And I said, yeah. Then my FaceTime rings on my phone and I pick up and it's Macaulay Culkin FaceTiming me.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, oh, look, I'm FaceTiming with Macaulay Culkin right now. And he's like, what do you got in mind? What do you got in mind? And I said, like, well, I just had I was just wondering if you want to get involved and we could try to figure out some stuff from there. And he's like, I'm not against it. Pitch me some ideas, you know, and we'll see what I like. So I came up with probably like 5 or 6 ideas for him. And then when he came to the show Thursday, he got there a little bit early, and I ran through all the ideas, and he liked 3 of them, 3 of the 6, which is fair. So we did those 3. We did the rolling the slipping on the micro machine spot.
Yeah.
We did the
can, the swing,
the can. Yeah. And there was one.
And then on the fly, they called that splash.
They did call that splash
On the fly,
Yeah.
and he was like, and I guess they're like, you'll be fine.
Well, the funny thing is like Hornswoggle came up to me earlier, and he was like, "Hey, what about if Macaulay Culkin jumps off the rope and splashes me, or whatever? If Dick Justice, who's playing Santa Claus in the match, like launches him onto me?" And I said, I'm all for that if you clear it with him. He's like, yeah, I'll talk to him. But I guess he never did. But we all planned the match as if he had talked to Macaulay Culkin. So everybody knew that's what was happening. But like Macaulay Culkin was just like, oh yeah, sure, go. And he fed into it, and it was.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And then it hit the news.
Yeah, TMZ.
Yeah.
TMZ right away. Which was cool. And then I actually flew to a show the next day, and TMZ wanted to call me and like interview me for it, like on FaceTime too. So I like talked to them from. I think I was flying to. Maybe an Excite Wrestling show, maybe? I can't remember. But I talked to them at the airport because I landed and I was like, I got the text when I landed. Hey, TMZ wants to interview you, and I text back, and I said that was like, but I missed the text by like 2 hours. I said like, oh, I just landed. They're like, oh, they're going live in like 30 minutes. Can they call you? And I said, okay, sure. So I hung out at the airport until I called.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Totally unrelated to this, but Excite Wrestling promoter John Moose hand delivered my custom all-in gear today.
Wow.
Because my gear guy got my tights finished on Tuesday of this week and was like, hey, I don't think if I ship it, it'll get to your house in time. I go, yeah, no shit.
Right.
And he goes, oh, do you think someone can meet you up at the Sears Center to get it to you? And I go, do they have backstage passes?
Yeah.
He's like, well, no, can you just meet him outside? I go, what are you, out of your mind? 10,000 people, just me walking around like, hey, do you have my gear? Hey, do you have my gear?
Yeah.
So, Excite promoter.
Stepped up.
Yeah, thank you.
John's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great guy. So, why did you start Bar?
Truthfully, so there was a promotion I worked for in New Jersey called Violence and Suffering, which Piggy Sanchez, who's probably, because he wrestles, one only person name that people know, but there are a couple other guys, Pete and Orlando, that run it. And they're like, hey, we should do something on the West Coast. You want to do something on the West Coast? And I was like, no, I don't. They're like, come on, but they kept pushing me to do it. And I knew of this venue from IWL.
Yeah, I wrestled in it.
And who else? Quintessential ran there. A couple other places ran there. And I knew it was like reasonably priced because it's kind of out there. It's like 18 miles east of like LA proper, but like in an industrial area. So
yeah, there's like parking and
yeah. So I knew that venue. So they were like, and so Orlando was like, hey, let us finance the first show, and if it goes well, blah blah blah. I said, okay, if you're financing it, I'll help you run it. And then so we just ran the show, and it drew well.
And it was bar wrestling.
It was bar wrestling from the get go. Okay, so once I agreed to do the show and we started coming up with ideas, this is gonna sound really bad because I already ripped off Sexy Eddie and Dino spot for the dick flip. So when I wrestled the show in Japan, because DDT has a lot of promotions under its umbrella, like a women's promotion, like a hardcore, whatever. So they had this one called Tavern Wrestling, right? Standing room only, cheap booze, everyone drunk. And it was the most fun show. I have no storylines, just everyone just having fun, random matches. And so it was just the most fun. And I was like, I think this would play in the U.S. But like it was 6 matches, 2 hours, or whatever. So I think that was key too, because nobody wants to be standing drinking for 5 hours unless you're at a Beyond show.
It's true though.
Right, but I don't know how Drew markets that so well. He does.
He'll run 2 shows in one day.
People standing all day.
Yeah.
Which I think works for Beyond, but I don't think it works for because I've some standing room shows people start leaving like halfway through. Not too long. So I just did it. Made sure try to keep all the matches short and try to keep the show length short. And then people had fun with it, and it's been going since.
Okay.
Are you gonna ask the weird question of when I stopped getting booked in PWG by Super Dragon? Is that where you're going with it?
Yeah, kind of. But also there was a scandal of sorts.
Oh, right.
When the Facebook
I
page
didn't even think of this.
changed.
Yeah. Completely forgot about that.
Yeah. Because that was like a thing.
Right.
That was, and this is all, I say scandal, but this is like only in the wrestling world, which is why you're watching this. So that's why I'm talking about it.
All right.
Because the PWG Facebook was like laying dormant.
For many
used.
Years. Yeah. Probably hadn't been touched in 6 or 7 years.
Okay, so no updates, no posts, nothing.
Nothing. No email. No email answered. Nothing.
So it says Pro Wrestling Gorilla. That's the Facebook. You like it. You can send messages.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
But nobody ever looks at the messages. Nobody ever reads the message. Nobody ever posts on it.
And you say, okay.
2 people have the login info. Me and Excalibur.
Still.
Well, at the time.
But now you booted Excalibur.
No. So.
Yes.
So
okay, now here we go.
So
here we go.
So I was like, okay, let me do some social media on this bar wrestling show that I'm co-promoting at the time, and
which, by the way, you still co-promoting or no?
No, Orlando and Peter's still around. They just can't make it to every show because it became more like I'm running like 3 times a month now.
Yeah, you run a lot.
So because the original venue wants us to run more. The original venue, sorry to sidetrack here. The original venue, the Baldwin Park one, the one that's in the industrial area. they were like
The one I've wrestled at?
Yeah.
Okay.
They said they told me that that place was going to go out of business until bar wrestling because of the alcohol sales. Because it's such a middle of nowhere kind of place. No one really goes to that area to drink, But they said that bar wrestling kept that.
That's awesome. You're helping the community.
And then some other venues in LA started hitting me up like, hey, we want to run a show too. We see what you're doing over there. We like it. So like now I've got 2 venues in LA proper too. And then another one that's in the Inland Empire that recently emailed me, which is weird because it's the Glass House in Pomona, which I've gone to watch bands play there. Which is kind of like, oh, I know your venue. I've paid money to watch bands play here.
Yeah.
But
that's good though.
Yeah, no. But so it might be 4 times a month. Who knows? Might be running every week now. Might be double shotting all the time now.
Promoter Joey Ryan.
This is my out plan.
Yeah. Indie wrestling promoter?
Yeah. No. So anyways, so I was like, okay, let's social media this up, and I was like, nobody uses this page, like blah blah blah. I'm just gonna switch it over because nobody will even notice.
And it already has likes.
Yeah, and it doesn't even that much because it's never updated, right? So it's not even near the Twitter followers, it's literally a fraction. And it's
but still,
but it has likes in the area. I was like, okay, this might be a cheat way to get some.
I understand the logic behind it,
right? And I said no one's ever even going to notice this page is collecting dust, except when you change the name of a page that has likes, it tells everybody who's notifies everybody who likes it that the page has changed. So that happened, and everyone got that notification, and literally it was maybe 20 minutes before I realized that and switched it back. But that 20 minutes changed everything. So it just it became oh, what happened? What happened to PWG? What happened to PWG? Blah 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 kind of thing. So it got changed back, and then obviously Excalibur still has, but no, it still hasn't been touched since that day. Since that day.
Oh, I didn't know it got changed back.
It got changed back. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's even more of a cool bar wrestling advertisement because it's such a rebel thing to do.
Right.
But then it gets changed back, so it was a short period of time, and then it disappeared.
Yeah, it almost seems like
you hacked them.
Yeah, right. It almost seems like a hack job.
Yeah.
But I got checked back. You got changed back, and I even told Excalibur's well, you just change the password, whatever. Don't give it to me. You can be the sole proprietor of the PWG Facebook page that nobody ever touches. Just because I knew that it was going to upset Super Dragon. And then I apologized to Super Dragon, and he was just he's not very, I won't say he's not very forgiving, but he's very stubborn. So he's very oh, blah, blah, blah. He's oh, you did that on purpose. And I genuinely didn't. I did.
You told your brain, yes, I'm doing this, but you weren't I'm doing this out of spite.
Right. So I don't know.
Yeah, you didn't accidentally change it to bar wrestling.
Right. I didn't slip and fall and change.
Yeah. No, I know what you meant though.
Yeah. So yeah, but it was a very quick change back, and then they got they didn't lose really anything except for that 20 minutes of time, but I guess bar wrestling really gained from that.
I think it did.
Yeah,
because it's all like I said
it almost seems
a rebellious
I know it sounds calculated, but I promise you it was not calculated.
Hey man, it's organic.
Right. It's like my viral videos didn't plan it, it just happened.
Joey Ryan just pumping out this organic content.
Yep.
Well, okay, so let's talk about PWG then.
Sure.
Because obviously you were a big part of the company if you had the login info for their Facebook page.
Right.
Where do you go from being a pillar of this company to running your own competition?
I think.
By the way, can we all just give a round of applause for Joey Ryan for legitimately answering all of these crazy ass questions and just being super cool about his friend just bombarding him with hey, I saw this on Twitter, we want to talk about it?
Yeah, no. So me and Candace, we're teaming.
Arguably one of the most over acts in PWG history.
Right, but here's the issue, and this is all hindsight, right? So me and Candice have the match with the Young Bucks. We win the tag titles. Everyone goes nuts for it. But
Which one- is this? The bloody Candice
right. Like
thumbtack super
still, people tell me about that match all the time.
I see. Anytime we do shit like this,
Yeah.
like big shows, people are wearing T-shirts with either her bloody face or the versus match graphic.
Yeah. So it was probably the most notable match I've ever done. So we do that match. It gets super over. We're like super, but like I think, and this is, I mean, this is a tale as old as time in wrestling.
I like that Disney reference.
Right.
Let's get to that soon too.
So we're the tag team champions, right? But like we are over as underdogs, right?
Yeah.
So we start beating everybody. We start beating Ricochet and Rich Swann. We beat Kazarian and Daniels. We beat like Trent and Chuck. We beat like everybody, right? And so like we start losing our charm as being underdogs because we're winning too much. So we should have really just won the tag titles and then lost them almost immediately,
right,
and been underdogs again. Because I think after a while, people like when you lose that charm. It's not that people turn like Candice. People never turn. Hold on. People will never turn on Candice.
Hold on. This actually just clued in my brain.
Sure.
So you just listed all those teams that you guys beat.
Yeah.
And then you lost to me and Josh.
I told you Monster Mafia.
I literally didn't even like.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
So I think we just held the tag titles for too long, and like we became less endearing because of it.
I get what you're saying, but you guys are a big act,
right? But once we lost them, it was kind of like, where do we go from here? So maybe we take a break. I think. So we like, I think we did a couple more matches as a team. I think maybe Candice did a couple singles matches. I think Candice was in Bola that year too after we lost, but like I think that might have been her last appearance. No, because we did the stuff in.
Wasn't she in Bola but as a replacement?
Possibly.
Because, how she wasn't there
until
the day she left for WWE will forever blow my mind.
Yeah, me too. And I even told Super Dragon, I said, hey, look, if you have uses for Candice without me, and like I'm not gonna be like hurt, because I think Candice should be
100%.
But he kind of like started weaning us off shows.
For what reason?
I think he just didn't know really what to do with us, or maybe like. I mean, I've heard a few things after my video went viral that he wasn't like super thrilled about, like, because I guess I'm considered a co-founder or whatever, and like now all this dick stuff is out there sponsored by YouPorn. I've heard stuff about that too, where he was worried that it would be negative attention on the promotion, which is.
I feel like.
But I can't confirm that.
Sure.
I've just heard that.
Sure. I have heard and felt like they hate attention
in general.
Yeah,
they didn't. He definitely didn't want like Ronda Rousey coming to shows.
Yeah, like celebrities.
Anytime celebrities are there, he gets mad because like he thinks like everybody's gonna start coming now because like it's obviously that he's already packing that room and taking.
Nah, man, he's evading taxes. That's my theory.
That could be.
My theory. He's running away from the tax.
I don't know.
IRS.
I don't know. See, it's hard to say though because like. You would figure that it would have to be incorporated at some point because like if tickets are $70 to $100 and in Reseda he's selling like 400 tickets, but like now at the Globe he's selling 700 tickets. That's like so much money to go unnoticed.
Yeah, no, it's for sure a real business.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially once they move to that new venue.
Yeah.
It's like you can't have that many people coming every month and that
with
much
expensive
money.
Tickets.
Yeah, and that venue is probably a concert venue, so he's paying out on tickets to them, getting a receipt.
Yeah.
The bar, the merch. It's
Seth probably knows. He probably has an insider info.
He ain't gonna tell. Last night I was trying to get all the information out of him possible. I'm like, hey, how many DVDs sell for this?
5 in the morning.
Oh yeah, dude, 5 in the morning. I go, he goes, oh man, I'm going to bed, and I go, nah, man, I'm gonna shower, and if you're still awake when I get out, we're talking. And he goes,
He took a 2-minute shower.
Hell yeah, because I wanted to ask him like a million questions. I was like, hey, he's sleep deprived. Maybe he's like, lucid enough to like
trying to get all.
Oh hell yeah! Info. I almost got a lot out of him too. He's like, I can't tell you that. I can't tell you that.
Seth, protecting kayfabe.
Heck yeah. Okay, so you don't know why.
Yeah, I mean, like I've heard a few different things. Like he was super happy with the attention it was getting, or the kind of attention it was getting. Also, I feel like he thought maybe Candace and I had run our course because we started to get a little, like I said, we started to become less endearing because we were so dominant for so long.
You guys were everywhere.
That's true. But it's hard to get in. It's hard to get into his mind because he's such a unique thinker. I mean, it feels like I'm burying him for like the last 30 minutes, but like
that's been 30 minutes. I hope so.
I genuinely think he's got a good mind for. I mean, I loved wrestling him. And he's got a great mind for wrestling, and he's become a great promoter. So like, I don't want to seem like I'm coming off bitter or like mad at him, but like
I want, like, when I do these, I want to ask questions that I know fans want to ask.
Sure. Yeah. No. I'm an open book. I'll tell you whatever you want to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so while you were at PWG,
yeah,
you and Drake had a match. You were gonna quit wrestling.
Right. This goes back. So like, I was in TNA from. When did I have a match with Austin? May 2012 to July 2013. So I did the gut check stuff. I started doing the gut check stuff May there, and then got signed in June for a 1-year contract with a 1-year option. This is where this is a completely side note. This has nothing to do with my Drake match. Now I'm on a tangent.
That's okay.
So June comes around, my contract's up, and I'm like, and they have like I've been off the last couple TVs, but I'm a salaried paycheck. I'm not like a per appearance. So I'm getting like a monthly salary from them.
Do you hate Al Snow?
No. I mean, I get along with him. I have friends who hate him, but
okay.
Well, I mean, it's well documented. Cabana and him.
Yeah. I was like, you're friends with Colt too.
But he's the one who did call me to. So in June, I get this FedEx. TNA is exercising their 1-year option on you and keeping you until next year. Great, I'm gonna get this paycheck for another year, and then a month later. Al still calls me, and I haven't been using that month. Al still calls me and says like, "Hey, we're starting to." This is when they took Impact out of the Impact Zone and started traveling, and they weren't drawing very well, so they were losing money every week. And they're like, "Oh, we're making some budget cuts," and this was like when they cut like 10 people at once. Like they cut me and like Taylor Hendricks and like I can't remember who else, but I remember they didn't re-sign RVD, they didn't re-sign Matt Morgan just because like they were bleeding money.
Yeah.
And. I remember Nigel McGuinness said something that like stuck with me at that time too. And this is not a knock at Sting, who I love, and Sting was super cool to me backstage. Sting would come up to me and pitch ideas for the Joey Ryan character.
Really?
Just out of blue. Like I didn't ask him to watch my matches, he would just watch them and be like, "Hey, you should do this, this, and this." Okay, Sting. Yeah, for sure, I'll do that. Kurt Angle was the same way. Kurt Angle would watch my matches and come give me notes. Unasked. I didn't ask him to. Both great guys. So I'm completely on a different side bench.
No, man, I'm all for it. I asked you if you hate Al Snow.
What Nigel McGuinness said was like by cutting like me and like all the other gut check guys and like a couple of the other like, he's like, that's like a start. But like keeping Sting, who's making like $500,000 a year in TNA,
which is crazy,
right? And like I don't think the draw or the rating is affected. And maybe the live draw is, but I don't think the ratings are affected if I'm in a segment or if Sting's in a segment. You know what I mean? I don't think Sting is drawing a bigger rating than me necessarily on Impact, because Impact's kind of at this point, kind of a tarnished brand.
Well, and I think that they now figured that out, and that's why they cleaned house.
Right.
And now they're just trying to do good wrestling shows.
Right. Which I think they're on the right track now, for sure. But like Nigel McGuinness said, like, oh, like cutting all these gut check guys and keeping Sting is like a starving family. Deciding like, oh, you know what, we're gonna cut baked beans out of our diet, but we're still gonna eat filet mignon.
Yeah.
We're still gonna eat, but like.
I mean, it's true.
Yeah. But that was the Nigel clip. Anyway, so I get cut from TNA, July, and then I think maybe even still in July, WWE comes to town and. Regal's already been high on me, so I get extra work. I come in, Regal's really high on me.
And this is pre-Dick stuff.
This is pre-Dick stuff. This is 2013.
Yeah, bringing Sleazy back.
So
Joey.
Regal's real high on me. Road Dogg even pulls me aside while I'm in extra and tells me like, hey, the company's interested in you, blah blah blah. This is when the performance center is kind of newer, and they're like, but we're doing this thing where like we don't sign people unless they go do this tryout. Like we have to do like the 3-day tryout camp or whatever. So we want so blah blah blah. So like Regal's high on me, Road Dogg's high on me. So Regal calls me too, and he's like, hey, we have a tryout in August. This is like July or like the beginning of August. He's like, we have a tryout in like 2 weeks, or we have a tryout in December. And he told me on the phone, he says, I would rather you take the August one because I want to get this moving, which makes it sound like, oh look,
you're gonna get signed.
I'm getting signed. So I go do this tryout in August, and for whatever reason, Bill DeMott doesn't like me from the get-go, and I don't know why. Still, I've heard different things. I heard he was very nervous about his job. So like if like TNA guys come in or outsiders come in and they wrestle better than the guys he trains there, that he'll look bad, and he doesn't want to look bad because he wants to protect his job.
Which is like the dumbest thing ever, because your job is to develop talent for this company, but you're like hindering the company's ability to like build stars.
Right. But it's
it's the reverse of your job.
So anybody that comes in, especially since I was so fresh off TNA, that he didn't want this TNA guy's here and he's better than our guys, and then like if Triple H sees that, he'd be like, what about your guys, Bill? Why aren't your guys like this?
Yeah, which I doubt would be the the argument.
Right. So for whatever reason, Bill DeMott doesn't like me, and I knew this from when. So I was there when the infamous non-handshake Young Bucks Booker T thing happened. I was there that day as an extra as well. That was a couple years prior, but that was when I realized that if 10 people have to sign off on you and 9 people say yes and 1 person says no, that you're out, because that's what happened to the Bucks. I've never seen. This was when the Bucks left TNA. I've never seen the red carpet more rolled out for anybody than come here. They treated them
and
like.
This was back then,
right? They treated them like stars. They were like, they put them they had them do a match with they had them wrestle me and Scorpio Sky in like a practice match or match during the workout. Then immediately put the Usos in there, and they called a match with the Usos in the ring, and it was great. And so they were like, oh, blah, blah, but they were like. Oh, come cut promos. Oh, do this. Oh, do that. So the Young Bucks were like, okay. And I guess they didn't shake Booker T's hand, and or whatever the story is, and Booker T was offended because, these guys think they're blah, blah, blah. So Booker T put the kibosh on signing the Bucks at the time, even though the red carpet was rolled out for them.
So they owe Booker T millions of dollars.
Right. So the blessing in disguise. The blessing in disguise.
Yeah, the Bucks should be sending Booker T paychecks.
So that's kind of when I realized that
All In is all because of Booker T.
Right. So that's when I kind of realized that if 10 people have to sign off you and 9 do and 1 doesn't, you're not getting it. So because Bill DeMott didn't like me, and I knew at the tryout, it was obviously like, all right, well, I'm here for no reason. I mean, I did all the drills. I stayed till the end, even though it was clear to me that DeMott wasn't signing off on me.
So that kind of killed your mojo a little bit.
Right. So I was like, I hate wrestling now. I just got fired from TNA. My dream job just got shit on by Bill DeMott, who was never over in his entire career. Never sold 1 T-shirt in his entire career, but he's
boom, trailer that shit, High Spots. Woo! Damn! Oh my God! Put a fire gif on that. Holy shit!
Yeah. So somebody who's never drawn money in their life is deciding who can draw money. Well,
so what's your thoughts on Rip Rogers then?
Ooh, boy, Rip Rogers. Rip Rogers. Ooh. Anyways, so yeah, I'm like, this wrestling sucks. I'm quitting.
So tired.
But here's the interesting thing is that this WWE tryout lands, it's like a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And that Friday is the last day, and that's also the first night of Bola that year.
Okay.
And I was in Bola that year, and I even paid to change my flight to come, because they let us, we were done at noon, so I even paid to get on an earlier flight so I could make Bola. So I land, I get picked up from the airport, drive immediately to Reseda. I get there during the show. Me and Drake are wrestling first after intermission. And so I'm like, I don't want to do anything. This wrestling sucks. I'm done. This is it. But I wanted to make good on my commitment or whatever. And Drake, Drake.
PMA, brother.
He is such an infectious personality. even my shit attitude couldn't bring him down. He was like, no, man, blah, 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 blah. We'll do this. We'll do that. No, I got all these ideas. And he started calling all these ideas. I'm like, yeah, Drake, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to do. And like we had talked about before all this happened, we talked about like the hard candy spot and the Lego spot. So we had the goods there. So he already had ideas to do them. And he was just like, this, that, blah, blah, blah. Just being so positive, even though like I'm probably being like the biggest, like, oh, I don't care. This is my last match anyways, blah, blah, blah. You know, like.
In your head, you thought it was your last match?
I thought it was got to be one of them. You know, I mean, obviously I was going to be in like because Drake was winning that match. I knew I'd have like a loser 8-man like the next night or something. But but like me and Drake go out there and like, I mean the PWG audience was obviously it's Bola, so they're like super hyped, and Drake's like so fun and just so, I don't know, just everything went like, I've always had good chemistry with Drake, but everything like clicked in that match, and I just in the middle of the match I just started having so much fun. And I think it was just like, at one point I was just like, it might even have been during that match. It's hard to pinpoint exactly when, but even that was, I was like, you know what? Like, I can just wrestle for me. I don't have to wrestle with the idea of like trying to get to WWE. You know, I can just kind of be my own guy and just like do whatever I want, have fun with
Which
it.
is like probably the most refreshing thing.
Right. And this is
after 13, 14 years of
right.
having one mind, like one track mind.
Right. So I just had this match with Drake, and Drake's just so fun, and he's just so positive, and like the spots are clicking, and like the crowd's really into like everything we're doing. Then we pull out the tart candy, pull out the Legos. The crowd's like, obviously, holy shit, blah blah blah. And the match gets like a big standing ovation at the end, which like I'm not like a super dream indie worker guy, right? Like so like PWG is geared towards like I mean I get a good response. People like me, but I don't get standing ovations for my matches. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so like,
yeah.
So like the PWG audience is giving me a standing ovation for this match with Drake, and I'm just like, oh man, I'm like, and then I kind of just was like, okay, I'm just gonna wrestle for me then. So it was like kind of this match with Drake that kind of flipped the switch on me to be like, not so like, I don't want to quit. I went from like earlier that day being like in Florida in the Performance Center being like, fuck wrestling, I hate you, Bill DeMott, I hate WWE, I'm quitting. My dream job is shit or whatever, to like, oh my god, like wrestling's actually like, it's not, wrestling isn't WWE, wrestling is wrestling, and that's what I do, and I can have fun with it.
And now, would you say you currently have your dream job?
I would say yeah. I mean, like, I never thought I would be, like, obviously this was before viral video. Because I was doing well, because I had a TNA buzz, you know, so like in TNA, like I was getting booked a lot in like Europe at the time, because like TNA is bigger and like
It's huge there.
Right. So TNA is bigger, so I'm getting a lot of like
of Chandler Park t-shirts in the UK.
So I'm getting a lot of international bookings. So like I'm doing okay, and like obviously like at some point I get to DDT and the stuff goes viral, but like I never thought I'd be like doing as well as I am now through independent wrestling, and like that isn't all because, like, obviously the viral videos because of social media, but like I feel like the indies have boomed because everything's so easily accessible now.
Yeah, I think the indies are in like look at tomorrow, like
right,
all in
like
10,000 tickets.
I was thinking
minutes.
about I was at StarCast today, and like my line was insane, and I was looking around and I was looking at everybody's line, and I was like, oh my god, independent wrestling drew this.
Dude, so I ran into Veda Scott today.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, how have you been? And the first thing out of her mouth was like right out of my brain. She's like, I'm not joking. I told myself I'd be happy if I sold one thing. And I was like, I was saying the same shit, because right beside you is Sergeant Slaughter.
Right. And
right beside him is Theodore Long.
Yeah.
And right beside, it's like,
yeah.
And to me, those are the people that I assume would be killing it.
Yeah.
I'm sure they did. But Joey Janela had a line. You had a line.
Yeah.
MJF had a line. I had a line. Cabana had a line. And I was like, man, like these are like self-made, like indie guys. And right now, like you're not signed to anybody or that I know Lucha Underground.
I'm signed to Lucha Underground.
But like, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
There's no like,
you're not exclusive.
Yeah, you're not exclusive. Like you're just like a nomad. Like you're doing whatever you want, kind of thing.
Yeah. And
you're as hot as you've ever been. Ever.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It is crazy. And I again I credit a lot to there's two schools of thought I have about the indie boom, and one is obviously social media being the way it is, and like when I started wrestling, if I wanted to watch a show that happened in New York, I'd watch it 3 months later on a VHS tape that was second or third generation copied.
Yeah.
Now it's like I can stream it, I can watch it through GIFs, I get live photos because social media is so instant. Like people can watch. How many people are going to watch All In tomorrow? You know,
How many people do you actually think are gonna?
I think it's going to be a lot.
Like, what's a lot?
Seth, come in. Give me a guess.
I don't know.
Seth, you're a streaming guy. You know what wrestling normally
What's
is.
good numbers?
First that, I don't know. I mean, the first hour's on cable television nationwide, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
first hour, which is genius.
Right.
Because if it's good or
Yeah.
does good, that could mean potential buys
Right.
for pay-per-view. And not only is it on pay-per-view, it's on Fight TV, it's
Yeah.
on the Ring of Honor or whatever
Right.
the hell they do.
New Japan's going to put it on like shortly after, right? They didn't announce exactly when.
Right after.
Right after. Okay.
For real?
Yeah.
As a VOD?
Right after, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to New Japan World, I think. Right after.
Like, this is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how, like, if we're talking, like, pay-per-view,
Yeah.
like, it's on pay-per-view.
Right.
It's on
Right.
DirecTV.
Oh, my God.
Um.
Like, how many, take a guess.
See, don't put me in this position to guess, because I'll either guess way too high or way too. Seth, give me Seth. You're
I don't
you're
know.
the expert here, Seth.
If I had to guess,
Help me out.
if I legitimately had to guess,
I don't know.
I would say close to or over 100,000.
I would say more than that. I think more than
See?
that. I'm gonna watch it.
I would be
I think
closer
that,
to him. But
you think that would be a guess? I think more than that. I think more than that.
More than 100,000.
Yeah.
Do you know how many people that is?
I do know how many people that is, but I feel like, I mean, you said it yourself. Like, I mean, I know you don't pay for BTE, but like being the elite gets
200,000.
yeah, and like a lot of that fan base. I mean, that's what the last 10 episodes, 11 episodes, 12 episodes been building.
Been selling,
Yeah, so
pushing, promoting.
we'll see. We'll see if
Building
we'll see if
too.
we'll see if that translates.
I know you're close.
It's gonna be like 5,000. We're gonna be like
no.
There's gonna be more people in attendance than watch.
No,
I'm just kidding.
no
I'm kidding.
chance.
I'm kidding. Yeah,
Because
no.
more people wanted to buy tickets.
Yeah,
Like 10,000 wasn't enough. They could have run a bigger building.
yeah,
So
yeah. No, it's definitely the other thing I credit to the indie boom is WWE acknowledging independent wrestling, which they didn't for years. So like
constantly,
when
they're sending Velveteen Dream to Evolve Wrestling
right.
to wrestle.
But even
in front
before
of
that, like
80
when Kevin Owens debuts and Michael Cole says Kevin Owens has been grinding for 15 years and I'm a WWE mark and I'm like, this is the first time I've heard of this guy. Where did he wrestle before? I'm gonna Google because Google is the
Yeah.
thing. Oh look, PWG, Ring of Honor. Oh my God, look at all these. Oh, let me click on this link. Oh, I know him. Blah blah blah. Oh, look at this guy, looks cool. And then like these WWE fans that never knew independent wrestling existed are now in the wormhole.
I've made lifelong fans at Evolve when they first started their relationship with WWE, and they would send like Sami Zayn to do an autograph signing and like a not televised promo.
Yeah.
Because they would draw in WWE fans to see them,
Right.
and they'd be like, "Holy shit! What, this show's great!" or what?
Yeah.
Like, who is this guy? And it's like that makes such a like effect and dent on
Yeah.
what we're doing.
For sure.
Yeah, I love it. Seth, we running long?
No, you're good.
We're good to go. I don't want to.
Stretch it a little longer.
I don't.
What are we at right now? We got like 60, 70?
I think you're around 60.
We gotta be. We got. I was saying 70. Like, cause this has been going great.
I've been my phone's right here. I've been looking at the clock.
You have been?
I've been checking the clock.
Damn,
I've
Joey.
I've been checking the clock.
What time do we start?
I think we started a little bit before, like 10, around 10, between 10:45 and 10:50 maybe, and it's 11:55 right now.
Yeah, that sounds right.
All right.
All right. Well, let's talk about intergender wrestling
Okay.
and tagging with Candace.
Sure.
Uh,
Candace is another reason why like wrestling changed for me too, and it was just because, like, and I'll never like okay if I'm guilty of stealing Sexy Eddie's moves and I'm guilty of stealing DDT's Tavern Wrestling, then one thing I can, I mean, obviously there's mixed tags before, but like there was no established intergender tag team before me and Candace.
as like a legit tag.
Right,
No,
right. So like I can take a little bit of credit in that one
for sure.
So yeah, no, it was just an idea that like we were like, so it was supposed to be a one-off. they were starting Mount Rushmore, which was at the time Kevin Owens, Kevin Steen, Adam Cole, the Young Bucks. That was the original one. And then when Steen left, Roddy came in, right? Does that sound right?
2.0 was Roddy and Super Dragon.
Oh, okay.
For 1 second.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they were. It's hard to get heel heat at PWG because everybody loves everybody. So they were like, "Oh, what can we do?" And they're like, "Well, we could beat up Candice because everybody loves Candice, and like she's a girl, and there's 4 dudes, and we're like, oh, we're gonna like, we'll like blah blah blah, we'll beat her up." And then I had like a long-standing like rivalry with Candice at PWG. Like we wrestled against each other. Like, I mean, we had singles matches, we had tag matches. We were always like constantly like. We had this like big feud that was extended for like when she was managing Human Tornado. I was feuding with Human Tornado. When she was managing Hero, I was feuding with Hero. So like we just
there's
had
history.
Yeah, we had a long standing rivalry. So like the idea would be that I would come in and be like, yeah, beat her up, but really like kind of be like more like, no, this is my girl to beat up. You guys don't get to beat her up, and then I start trying to fight them off, and then so we both get beat up. So they start beating up Candice. I come out. Ha ha ha! This stupid girl, blah 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 blah, and then I get shut down, and then they beat us both up. And then it was supposed to be a one-off. I think our first match was against. It wasn't. We had a couple matches with the Young Bucks before the big blow-off, the Guerrilla Warfare match, the hardcore one. So I think the first match was me and Candice against the Bucks, and it was supposed to just be a one-off. And Candice and I were like, you know what? Let's get matching gear and let's make T-shirts. Let's have a name. So we developed all that stuff because if like we could get it over, then he would have to book it again.
Yeah.
So that was just our idea because like it was pretty unheard of like the intergender tag team. So so we did. We got matching gear, matching T-shirts. We came up with a name, and the match was good. Obviously, Young Bucks don't have bad matches.
It's true.
So the match was good. So like that. So we just stuck together and started teaming more at PWG, and then more. Also, we started the YouTube show, which was the Candice and Joey show.
Yeah, the vlog.
Right, because we wanted people to start associating us with each other.
Why'd you stop doing that?
Because Candice moved to Cleveland to be with Johnny, so we weren't traveling as much together. We didn't see each other.
And you didn't want it to be just the Joey show.
Socially as much. And for a while we kept it up, like where she would film stuff at home with Johnny and I would film stuff at home, and then we'd splice it together. But then there was like a lack of chemistry between me and Candice that like was missing from the show.
Because you weren't there together.
We weren't there together, yeah. So it just kind of faded. We didn't really there was no intentional stop. It just kind of faded when we weren't living near each other. So yeah, but we used that as a marketing tool because we wanted people to start thinking of us as a duo. So we used the YouTube show as a marketing tool. And it like people got behind it, and wrestling became fun, like because it was such a different way. Like, not that wrestling was stale, but like you get into grooves where like you start having the same matches and stuff. And then when Candice was inserted in my matches, I was like, oh, I could do different things, or this reads different. We have to think of this a different way.
Yeah, this reads different is a perfect way because like your matches have a different dynamic instantly,
right?
Because there's a female in it,
right.
And you're wrestling like whatever dude tag team,
right? We had to be smart about it too. We can't. If Candice and I wrestle Monster Mafia, we can't put the heat on Candice because why can't you two put away Candice?
Yeah.
During the heat.
Yeah.
So the heat's got to be on me, and then Candice gets the comeback kind of thing.
Yeah.
So we had to think about it like that. We're like, we have to make it in this realm of make believe. We have to make it at least present believable. So yeah,
I loved our tag matches with you guys.
Yeah. So it just became like that, where we just would like kind of come up with different ways to like do these matches, and most of the time it was us against two guys. I mean, sometimes we get a guy and a girl, but most of the time it's between us against two guys.
Yeah. So you guys are like a legit tag team.
Right.
If you're like, oh, let's think of tag teams, it wasn't like, let's think of intergender tag teams. No, it'd be like, no, World's Cutest Tag Team is all on the list.
Right.
Yeah. No, it was cool. Yeah, definitely love wrestling you guys. All right. I feel like if I bring this topic up, we're going to murder some time on here and maybe even go over. Joey.
I normally don't go over. It's okay. I prefer losing.
Why? Sell more T-shirts, sympathy?
Yeah, you get more sympathy from the audience and they buy more merchandise.
Look at this guy. Always thinking about the dollar bills.
Like,
Disney.
What's that? I've never heard of that.
Disneyland, Disney World, Disney Sea, Disney Tokyo.
Disney Paris?
What's the best? Disney Paris. What's the best and the worst? There is no worst.
There's no worst.
What's the best? Man, like, I don't even know where to begin.
We're already lost.
I love it. I have a weird obsession with it. I try and explain it to people. And
I often describe it as a fountain of youth.
Okay, that's a good. I say it's the happiest place on earth,
which is true.
And it's the most stress-free place.
But people can get so stressed out there too
because of the money.
Well, the money and like
the amount of people.
So like I go pretty regularly, right? So I never have like a ride agenda. Because like, oh, I might hit this today, I might hit that today, but it's never like I have to get this and I have to get that. Because once you start doing,
but this isn't a.
But once you start,
it's not a once in a lifetime trip for you.
Right. So if it's a once in a lifetime and you're trying to get in Space Mountain and Splash Mountain and like Big Thunder Mountain and all the mountains and like lines are long and your fast passes are missed time, whatever. Like you start getting stressed out. Oh, I'm not going to get to go on this one. I'm not going to come to Disneyland again for 20 more years. So like. I can see where that stress would be.
Sure.
But for regulars, it's like, oh, I didn't get this today. Well, I'll get it in 2 weeks when I come back.
See, when we went in Japan, that was like a next to perfect Disney trip.
Yeah.
So I already went. I already did Disney Tokyo. And when we went again, it was like after 6 p.m., no plan whatsoever, half-price tickets.
Yeah.
And we ended up doing everything that was awesome.
Right.
Pretty much.
Right.
In like a short amount of time. But it was like very relaxed.
Yeah.
So like that trip I'll remember forever.
Yeah. That's a good thing about Tokyo Disney is that like after 6 p.m. they do the half-price tickets.
Yeah. And they're on the old Fast Pass system.
Right.
Where you have to physically go get your ticket, tells you when you can come back.
Yeah. And a lot of like, I feel like I feel like they do that cheaper ticket because a lot of families go and a lot of families clear out by 6 p.m.
Yeah.
So like the park gets kind of quiet after 6 p.m.
Dude.
Which is benefits for us because we can pay half price and get on most things we want.
And I was so happy you were there because you're such a Disney like dork that it was like I was getting like inside info, you know? Yeah.
Which I probably stole from Canada's.
So what's your favorite ride? What's your favorite park? What's your
Well, my favorite park, I'm gonna be biased because I grew up in LA. So.
I've never been.
You never been to Disneyland?
No. Which I've hinted at coming early for bar wrestling.
Just tell me. I think I might take Viper when she comes to town.
Oh, it's cool. You know what? I have this big beef with these UK wrestlers because they get treated like international talent, and here I am in Canada, and I get treated like a shitty American.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Come on. I'm international, too.
But you're North American.
Whatever.
Yeah. So like,
okay. So best park is Disneyland.
My favorite. I can't say best. My favorite because I remember like my parents would take my family there. Like because I have 3 brothers. We'd go every summer, every year, and so I have all these family memories from when I was very young. So Disney's always close to me. Disneyland was always close to me. And like I said, I grew up there. I lived there. It's the park I most frequent. So I like Disneyland. My favorite rides there are, my favorite attractions there are, I like Peter Pan. I know that sounds cheesy, but it's my favorite Disney movie, so I like going on the attraction. I don't want to say ride because like Disney people get mad. They're not rides, they're attractions.
Yeah, they're not really rides.
So Peter Pan, or I liked Tower of Terror. I think I like Tower of Terror more than Guardians of the Galaxy, but I do like Guardians of the Galaxy.
I haven't, dude. You don't understand.
Yeah.
How bad I need to ride that ride.
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. It's very similar, but it's obviously different. But I mean, I kind of, but it's like so fancy now. I kind of like Tower of Terror being kind of like cheesy.
The Tower of Terror in Tokyo Disney.
Yeah. Oh, that's scary.
Incredible.
That one's scary. There's like a little monster on it.
Incredible.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, loved it.
There's so the Haunted Mansion in Paris is called Phantom Manor, and it's in It's in Frontierland. So they kind of put there's kind of like a Western motif in the
Ooh.
Like it starts out normal, but like at some point you go to you go through like a graveyard, but like there's like saloons and like zombie cowboys and zombie like bartenders. It's really
different.
Yeah, it's very different, and it was really cool when I went. Because I wasn't expecting. I thought it was going to be like, because most of the Haunted Mansions are similar, little bit different, but similar.
Yeah.
This was way different.
Yeah, Tokyo Disney was closed down, Haunted Mansion, which broke my heart because I love in Orlando Haunted Mansion. I love it. That's in my top 5 for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think Tokyo Disney and Disneyland are the only 2 parks that do Nightmare Before Christmas for the Haunted Mansion.
Really?
For Halloween and Christmas, they changed it to Nightmare Before Christmas.
Do you know when? You said for Halloween?
It starts in like either late September. I think late September through like January, early January.
I'm going back.
It becomes Nightmare Before Christmas
to Japan at the end of September.
All right. Because they want it up for Halloween and for Christmas.
I'm going. Sick.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Or you just come to California.
Dude, I need I have to. I can't go without my wife though.
Okay.
Because
so bar wrestling has to fly your wife out.
No. I'll fly her out.
See what he's doing here, Seth?
Hey, High Spots, fly me out a couple days early. We'll film some of these. I'll interview all of the bar people.
You got Dan Barry this time.
Yeah. Seth's coming out for at least one of the bar shows, right? In September.
Yeah.
Are you gonna go to Disney?
Probably not.
What a loser.
Are you gonna come to both bar shows?
Probably not.
Both. Oh, it's a double shot?
Double shot. I WrestleMania weekend at Bola this year.
They're doing...
Bola's 14th, 15th, 16th, and I'm doing 12th and 13th.
Are you splitting talent too?
No.
Oh, okay.
But it was... I mean, I didn't even... Because I already know that Super Dragon doesn't like splitting with other promotions. But... I feel like if I was marketing the same talent as Bola, people would be like, I'll just go see him at Bola. So I want to.
That's fair.
I'm using MJF.
For me,
I'm using
completely
Viper.
different. Oh, these are the shows coming up soon.
Yeah. I'm using Tennille Dash. I put some girls on Tennille. I'm bringing in Viper. I'm bringing in because Bola obviously isn't going to have girls. MJF. Who else am I using?
Cobb.
We'll call him. Cobb will be on both, but he's local. Well, he's Vegas, which is local. Who else have I got in there? LAX. I'm using LAX.
Yeah, they're great. They had a match for you with Phoenix and Pentagon that was nuts, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe the best, bell-to-bell match that's been at bar.
Which you can watch on the High Spots Network.
Yeah.
$9.99, which is how you're watching this, so.
Or you bought the DVD. Do DVDs even sell anymore?
I sell them at the merch table all the time.
But do they sell?
I'm not answering that. The Eddie Kingston one does. Thanks, King.
I answered all your questions, and you want to answer one of mine.
No, they don't sell good.
Right. Because people just want to stream it.
Well, you could... I'm not... Never mind.
Because you sell DVDs for $15 and High Spot Network's $9.99.
Exactly. Right. I'm going to drop the price, I think. Be a good business move. $5. So, anything you want to talk about?
Let's see. Where are we at here? We're maybe 70 minutes?
I for sure thought Disney was going to be like a...
We can still talk about Disney. I don't know.
A topic.
What do you want to talk about?
Yeah.
I'll talk about anything.
Yeah.
What should we talk about, Seth? That wasn't helpful at all.
Yeah, I really just thought you would...
Come on, you know us both well. What can we
talk about? Come on, bro.
I don't know. Baseball, but he hates sports.
Yeah, I can't talk to you about baseball.
That's fine.
I almost got punched in the face last night by Eddie Kingston because I made a joke that baseball's stupid.
Yeah, Eddie will probably take that a little more. He's a Yankees fan, so he'll probably take that a little more personal than I will.
Yeah, I only did it to upset him though.
Well, naturally.
Yeah. But you love baseball, eh?
Yeah.
Oh man. Do you ever get worried that wrestling is just gonna stop providing the lifestyle that you have?
I worry about injury. So if I get hurt, obviously there it goes.
Yeah.
But I've been blessed so far. I've been pretty injury free for my entire career, which is kind of nuts when you think about like all the friends we have that have had major knee surgery or major like.
Well, I just did the thing with Trent, and he was showing. I was like
knee and bicep,
both his arms.
Oh yeah.
Left and right. And I was like, dude, like when you get in the ring, are you ever worried? Like,
after
that many injuries and surgeries, like I've been injured, but I've never had to have like a surgery.
Right.
And he's like, I just don't think about it. And I'm like, fuck, like, that scares the shit out of me.
Yeah.
But I also have like a wife and kid.
Right.
Like if I'm hurt,
you gotta go bag groceries.
Yeah, for real. Like
it's not like there's anything against bagging groceries.
No, but like I have to just go get a regular job.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's nuts. Which I guess is like I always joke with Candace about it because she's obviously signed to NXT now about how like all the money she's leaving on the indies, but she got like a concussion or something recently, and like they're definitely like taking care of her and like making sure she's good to go before. And so like she's got that. She's got not only just, and she's still getting paid. Not only is she getting a steady paycheck still, but she's getting taken care of by professional doctors and like, and not like, and like she's when she's ready, she'll be ready. And like,
but they also look at the wrestlers like investments,
right?
Whereas like in independence, if you get hurt, they're just like, Joey can't make it. Like that, it's not like, is Joey gonna be okay?
Right.
It's like, Joey can't make it. Let's just book this guy instead.
So no. So I mean, there's definitely benefits to being assigned to them, even if you're, like I said, even if I joke with Candace all the time about all the money she's leaving on the indies, she still gets that steady paycheck, even though she hasn't worked a couple weeks because they're like nursing her concussion back, and like she says she's definitely had worse concussions on the indies and just wrestled the next week. But
like, I'm sure
they have a protocol there, and you can't which
is good.
Yeah, it's great.
Which is good. Yeah, dude, I stress about that shit all the time.
This is gonna end real depressing.
We
just got to go. It's because we started talking about depressing stuff, right?
It's a pity go.
Oh
no! I got a good question.
Okay.
As a married man,
yes.
Does your wife ever give you shit, or do you ever get worried or stressed out with the intergender matches that you do? That she'll be like uncomfortable with it, or
no. She's European. She's British. She doesn't.
I have no idea what that means.
Like she's not jealous.
Okay.
She doesn't care which girl or guy grabs my dick. She doesn't care.
Yeah, because like people constantly grabbing your dick.
Yeah.
Boob plex is a move in the arsenal.
Yeah. You're
technically flirting with people on your entrance,
right?
Giving them your lollipop.
Yeah. No, she's not. She's not very jealous at all.
Well, and you guys got married after the dick stuff exploded?
Yes.
Oh, so this is like, what you're getting yourself into.
Right. Yeah, we've been married almost 2 years now.
How do you guys deal with like the travel and stuff? And like I interviewed Jordan Grace, and I was asking her like, or not even really asking her, I was telling her like, wrestling relationships are terrible. They never work. It's always like a push and pull, or like egos colliding, or terrible trust issues.
Right, but Laura doesn't really travel too much for wrestling. She kind of just does stuff locally.
And goes to Japan.
Well, yeah, she's got booked a couple times in Japan, but in Australia, she came with me to Australia once, but that's stuff when I'm there with her, both those times.
So that's like a Joey Ryan hookup.
No, well,
not discrediting her talent.
No. Like the first Japan tour is because the proposal went viral, and it was like super viral in Japan. Like we got interviewed via Skype by like multiple Japanese like news outlets.
Why did Japan pick it up? Because you're the dick guy.
No, I don't even think.
Dick flip guy got married.
Because like when I would do these interviews for these Japanese news shows, I'd be like, oh yeah, I wrestle in Japan all the time, and they would have no idea. Oh, where DDT? Oh, we don't know what that is.
For real?
Yeah. It was literally just the clip, And we got, like I said, we got interviewed by multiple Japanese. So it was big in Japan. Like a lot of, when I came on the next tour, like a lot of Japanese guys like, oh, I saw the video like on TV here in Japan, and like, so they wanted to book her after that video went viral. So that's the first tour, and then this next tour, they just asked. I didn't even pitch it. They asked if she was available. So this October tour coming up that I'm doing.
And you're gonna get a nice hotel, I'm sure.
Yeah. Maybe they figured they have to buy me a hotel anyways now because I'm a diva. DDT normally has us staying in the dorm, but the last time I was out, I was like, maybe hotel, please.
Yeah, because you gave some bullshit allergy.
I was feeling sick. You got sick.
I actually did. I got hay fever, and I was like fucked up for like days because of this.
It's kind of dirty and dusty and damp. It's just like
apparently it's not like that anymore.
Well, they moved. The old one was kind of like falling apart a little bit.
It was like the absolute shittiest place I've ever stayed. I mean,
you're bearing DDT on this.
No.
It was very pay your dues place.
Yeah, and like you needed to just swallow your fucking pride and just sleep in filth.
It was a very pay your dues place.
Imagine two houses. Literally, one is cut in half. The other one gets cut in half. Then they throw away the halves and they push it together. That's essentially what it was.
You have to walk through windows to get to rooms.
Yeah, literally, you're like lifting your leg through a sliding glass window with no insulation to go sleep in another room.
There's a kind of gaps everywhere. So
with no insulation on the walls that are going outside, so you are sleeping in whatever elements are out there. So if it's cold outside, it's fucking cold in your room. If it's hot outside, you are melting in your room. And the beds are
cots.
Not beds.
They're cots. Kind of.
I got lucky. Cabana let me keep his mattress that he brought, or else I would have been sleeping on like
this.
No, literally, like this.
Yeah.
Like there's a pull-out couch in there, so not actually on that, but like it was essentially like a shape like this, like a rectangle, and it came up and it was flat and there was no pads. It was just like a whatever. There was no cushion or anything like that. And there was like bugs everywhere. One night I
have to edit this set. He's burying DDT.
No, I'm not. No. I'm not burying them. It was just bad.
It's a very pay your dues place.
Kikutaro,
but they know DDT's
they know.
DDT's well aware of.
Kikutaro was like, "Oh, dojo, very shit." Like he knows. But it was an experience. One night it was so cold. I had the heater so close to my pillow that my pillow caught on fire. So like I'm sleeping like this, all of a sudden it's just like red. I opened my eyes, what the fuck? And I had to like.
You almost died.
I did almost die.
You almost died. 3 weeks after your son was born. Daughter.
Man,
sorry.
You're not the only one.
Sorry.
You are not. I
caught my own mistake.
That's true.
I caught my own mistake.
You are still my amigo.
Yeah.
On my show called.
Yeah.
Egos Amigos.
Yeah.
Almost died. That's how much I love this business.
By the way, he was in Japan 3 weeks after his daughter was born.
Tell the full story.
Look at it. We're turning on. We're killing some time here.
What full story?
You went to London and you.
So I wrestle. I wrestle in. So my kid's born.
Yeah.
My son/daughter.
It could be daughter. Just daughter.
It is daughter.
Okay.
My daughter's born. Literally 3 days after that, I had a 10-day trip to the UK, came back for a day and a half, and then came to Japan.
Because you're dedicated to the business.
For 5 weeks.
Dedicated to the business.
I'm not going to lie, after 3.5 weeks, I was like, okay, realistically, after I went to Disney, both Disney parks, I was like, oh, sick, I can go home at any time now.
Right.
Well, it was very long.
Yeah.
You've stayed in that place before.
Yeah, never 5 weeks.
What's the longest?
19 days.
And that was too much for you, or?
Yeah, I generally try to keep around 14, 15.
That's the max. Your max is 2 weeks?
2 weeks. 2 weekends.
Well, no, yeah, 3 weekends. 3 weekends.
3 weekends would be max. Like, that covers, like, so if I get there, like, on a Friday, and then, like, the following Friday, so it's, like, 16 days normally.
That's my next trip.
Yeah.
It's about that. September 21st to October 10th. That's 3 weeks, right?
Something like that. Yeah. So like 3 weekends, I get 3 weekends worth of work out of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Makes it worth it to them to buy your flight.
Yeah. I
Well, this next time I'm only going for 2 shows in October.
Yeah, you did that last time.
I did that.
You stayed in the hotel.
I stayed in the hotel.
Oh, I hate you. When do you go?
I go October 19th to the 29th.
Oh, we're just missing each other.
Yeah, well, technically I land there October 20th.
But you're doing the Sumo Arena show.
Yeah, I'm doing the...
And Corkin or just something
Corkin,
else?
And Corkin. So 2 back-to-back Sundays.
Oh, because my first show when I get there is Corkin.
Yeah.
Then I stay for like some other shows. And then I literally leave the week before the Sumo Arena show.
Yeah.
I couldn't do another month. I don't care how many people you draw. Like, I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, that merch, just catastrophe at the last Sumo Arena
You
show.
didn't do all right. I can't remember.
What?
I get hit in the head a lot.
So, we had this, I don't know, big dick guy, what's his name?
Oh, yeah. I know.
Okay, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Oh, no, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Dude, that was a nightmare.
Yeah, that sucked.
So they had like a bunch of people like assigned to deal with our merch. So we would just be selling or like there to sign, and they would handle the money, and they would mark down what sold, what not sold, and then we find out they weren't marking down. So then they had to go through and count our merch. They never counted it properly. So we don't know what sold. There was just money that was just sitting there that needed to be divvied out. It was a mess.
Yeah, that's not the first time that's happened.
Actually?
Yeah, no, that's happened before there.
Oh, literally the week after, Cabana and I put a piece of paper up on the wall, and we were doing it ourselves. Like, one thing sold, we mark it. One thing sold, we mark it. And I beat Cabana in merch, and I was like, this is the greatest accomplishment ever. That was at Corkin.
Yeah.
But it was also my first time wrestling there.
Yeah.
And he's been there many times. But that was a victory for me. You know what else is victorious? That we finished the interview.
Is that it? Is that our go-home line?
Is it, Seth? He's giving me the...
I think we're probably getting close to 80 minutes now.
I love how everyone watching this is going to be like, man, those assholes, all they're just trying to do is hit their times. I don't think people realize how much work this shit is.
Yeah.
No offense, Joey. You only had to do 80 minutes of this.
Yeah.
Me and Seth have had to do how many fucking minutes do you think?
Seth, who gets paid more? The guest or the same?
Same.
But he's doing multiple.
Yeah.
So I'm getting a one-time payment. You're getting a multiple-time payment.
Yeah. How many do you think we'll do Cobb, or you think I retire after this
I'm finding a way.
and don't do any more because like I'm ready to.
Do you have 80 minutes worth of cop questions?
Dude, me and you are like much closer friends, and we've had much more interaction. So
Yeah.
I don't know, but I also told him that I would get him a payday and we would do it. So
You can talk about. So I'm gonna start. This is our interview's gonna end with me feeding you cop questions.
cool.
Olympics, obviously. He was
He was in the Olympics.
He was
Yeah.
at the Olympics. He is from Hawaii and trained in Hawaii and wrestled in Hawaii before.
Matanza.
Yeah. He's Matanza and Lucha.
Oh, we didn't
Underground.
even talk about Lucha Underground.
We didn't even talk about Lucha Underground. What do you want to know?
I don't know. I feel like we've wrapped this up twice now.
Seth, what do you want to know about Lucha Underground?
Yeah, come on, man. Come sit down and just tell me what to talk about.
Oh,
Lucha Underground's a lot of fun.
how's Vampiro these days?
I don't really talk to him much when we're not in season.
Vampiro?
Yeah.
In season? What does that mean?
Well, 'cause
like
Lucha-
when your dick is ripe?
Because Lucha Underground doesn't film you around.
Oh, yeah. Oh, as in filming.
Yeah, when we're filming. So I don't really talk to them.
Yo, I heard they pay people lots of money. Is that true?
It pays pretty well. It pays pretty well.
Yeah.
But
AR Fox said it changed his life.
it could be, yeah. I mean, it's TV money.
That's
Lucha Underground's a TV company. It's not
not a wrestling
not
company.
a wrestling company. Yeah, so
Do you guys get like SAG credits or whatever?
no, nobody.
I don't know.
WWE guys don't even get that. But yeah, no. But they're super fun shows. We're super well taken care of. We're paid well, like treated like stars. Like
Good catering.
good catering, great catering.
It's gonna be really racist, but is it always Mexican food?
Say that because it's Lucha?
Yeah.
No, well, I mean,
It's in LA.
right. No, it's you get variety. You get a little variety there. Yeah, really fun. I just wish they were more. They ran more. Like I wish, like either filmed more.
Why didn't they do house shows? I feel like
or
they do good.
Yeah, we did like 3. House
They did
shows
one in
ever.
Texas, right?
They did like one in Arizona, one in Houston, and one somewhere else. I think.
And they did good, right?
They all did well. They just didn't follow up
Why?
because they're not a wrestling company; they're a TV company. But yeah,
So
no.
strange.
I wish they did run more shows. I wish they did run more shows.
Are you locked in with them for a while? Like, are they still doing more? I feel like every time they finish a season, there's like a, will there be another season?
Yeah, that
Like
does-
rumor?
that doesn't help the product either.
Of course not.
But
But what? Season 4 was filmed, right?
season 4 and it's currently airing.
So 5 filmed soon?
Still no word on 5.
But there was no word on 4.
There was no
There was
word.
no word on
That-
3.
that's
there
a
was
little,
no word
yeah,
on 2.
that's a little. That comes a little bit. I mean, that's another. As well as we're taking care of, the thing that's hard is when you're filling. Like I have bookings in January. Do you know what I mean? Like my calendar's starting to fill up.
Yeah.
So if they popped up in November and said like, "Hey, we're gonna film season 5,"
Yeah, cancel all those
I would
shows.
have to cancel like 6 weeks worth of shows.
Yeah.
That like are full. So that's another down point is they don't really.
Hey, man, but they pay well.
But you know what though is that's kind of like, but like, so they used to tell everybody everything like, right, like as soon as the news happened they would get us together. Oh, this happened, and then somebody
Leaked it.
in wrestling. It's wrestling, so somebody would tell the news outlets and like it would go online. So like they started kayfabing even the talent after a while.
Wow.
So like even if they knew when season 5 was going to film, right now they probably wouldn't tell us because they don't
want it leaked. Man, that sucks. That's crazy though.
Yeah.
Hey, why doesn't Ring of Honor use you? Didn't you do a match for them recently?
I did a couple matches last year for Ring of Honor.
And, like,
Seth was there.
And it was
I got
like
over,
very over, right?
Yeah, I got over pretty decently, right?
I feel like you cater to their audience because their audience is being the elite people. And
Right. But I think their hold up is like they don't know if or how, and it's so weird because like I don't do the dick stuff on Lucha Underground,
Right.
But in Ring of Honor's head, they're like, how do we market dick stuff on TV? But like Lucha Underground puts me on TV, and I don't do the dick stuff.
Yeah.
Because there's other ways I can like emphasize the sleaze. It doesn't have to be through dick stuff. But
Like, I know if I was like, hey, Joey, next time you come in for Alpha 1, no dick stuff, you'd be like, okay.
yeah, right. No problem.
That was a house show, but did you get that okay? The dick stuff that you did?
Because I went in not thinking like, hey, do I do this? And like, you know, and obviously Cody and the Bucks have a lot of pull there. Like, yeah, you got to do your shtick.
I mean, I agree.
You know, so like I did it, and it was a house show or whatever, and like, and even like Daniels, who's an agent there too, is just like, oh man, you know, like you nailed it this weekend, but like we don't know how to market this on TV. I was like, well, I mean, watch Lucha Underground because I could do that.
Yeah. And with your Lucha contract, you could do Ring of Honor.
Yeah, they loosened up because Lucha Underground. It used to be you couldn't work TV for anybody else, but they realized that they weren't running enough, and then then they're partners with AAA, and AAA entered into a partnership with Impact, and then Impact wanted to start using guys like Cage and Penta and Phoenix and like
Sammy.
Yeah. So like they loosened up the grips there, which meant they basically at some point during season 4 they said like, hey, you can work anywhere outside of WWE, TV or not.
That's good.
Yeah.
Go back to Ring of Honor though. You had like an actual run with them.
Yeah, back in 2008.
Yeah, you were in the embassy, right?
I was in the embassy.
Which, as a Ring of Honor, an old school Ring of Honor mark, I was very jealous of that.
Yeah, I was with Nana, obviously. Claudio was in that group. Cesaro.
Hold on, what'd you say?
I said nah.
No, oh, I thought you were saying like, nah, like
Oh,
embassy
no.
sucked. Nah, man, embassy
Nana,
forever.
obviously, and Claudio, who's Cesaro.
Yeah.
Who else was in that group? Jimmy Rave. Jimmy Rave was in that group. Bison Smith, R.I.P., was in that group. It was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we were feuding with Eric Stevens for a while, and then he ended up turning and joining the embassy, and we started a tag team for a little briefly in Ring of Honor.
Did you ever wrestle Necro Butcher?
Eric Stevens.
Wow.
Name from the past. Do you
Eric
remember him?
Stevens. Yeah, you better remember Eric Stevens.
Yes, I did. I actually feuded with Necro
Yeah, I
Butcher.
thought so. Yeah.
Yeah. And I have a good Necro Butcher story.
Yeah.
Good Necro Butcher story.
Yes,
So-
yes.
So this is the wrap up? This is the
Fuck
wrap
you,
up?
we're not wrapping it up. We're going all night now. I'm in the groove. Tell me about Necro.
So the first time I wrestled Necro Butcher was at PWG, and it was when I was PWG champion, and like I was doing like all these like shitty, like cheap finishes to keep the title, and so like. And there's a commissioner figure at the time, so the commissioner like, well, you have to wrestle the Necro Butcher. Oh, Necro. So, but it was at first I was like, oh, this is like I'm like intimidated because and then you meet him and he's the super nicest guy. In the world.
Literally, the nicest guy.
And he, he's real easy to work with, and he's really, he's so he looks a bit stiff, and like so he's legitimately like. Well, I don't know if he's legitimately legally blind, but he's pretty blind without his glasses. He can't really see much. So like he's gonna punch you. And like 2 out of 3 times it'll be very safe, but like that third time he's gonna clock you.
Okay.
So that's but you know that after you wrestle him once, you know that you understand that. So anyway, and then I started working with Ring of Honor and stuff, and then on my 30th birthday, I have a match with Necro Butcher at the ECW Arena, and it's a hardcore match or Falls County, I can't remember what it was, but anyways, weapons allowed. So, and it was filming it for TV, for Ring of Honor TV. So Necro Butcher comes up to me and is like, super nice, calm voice, was like, hey man, I get this idea, but I don't think the office is gonna okay it, so I'm just gonna do it. But if they ask you, you didn't know.
Okay.
And I was like, great. So it was when Ring of Honor was on HDNet, and he had this idea where like we'd be fighting outside, and he would literally grab a camera off a cameraman's shoulder, put it on his shoulder, and do like
oh yeah, I remember that.
like first person shooter punches at me, and like because he's like, there's no way
they would let him take the camera.
touch an expensive ass HD camera.
Yeah.
So we did it, and it was fine, and he got yelled at for it. Now he didn't tell me he was going to do it, but yeah, that's my Necro Butcher story.
Oh.
Did I build that up more than it was?
Yeah, definitely.
I built that up more than it paid off, didn't I?
Yeah, I got. I had to go get beer, and where was this? It was in Chicago for IWM Mid South. We were getting a case of beer for Ian Rotten and whoever else.
Yes.
So we go into this like beer little thing, and I was like deathly petrified because it was in Joliet, Illinois, and the jail was like right around the corner. So like it was just like the whole ambiance of this town.
Unless you're a foreigner.
And I was also 17 years old. So I like step one foot in the place, and the whole thing is like locked up, caged.
Yeah.
Like you literally have to like they put the big case of beer in this glass thing, they lift it up, they push it back to you, like it's a whole thing. So I walk in, I see everyone staring at me, and I go, oh hell no. So I turn around and go out, I go, I can't buy it. And he goes, don't worry man, I'm gonna go in there with you, everything's gonna be fine. I go in with this like, so I'm like a much younger, more preppy version of myself, like laying tanning beds for an hour a day, like spoon-fed white boy. And then here we have this like scary looking, like this is when he had like the really long beard. Then he just comes in and he just goes, yeah, I'll take a 24 pack of Miller. And he just looks around and he goes, you having a good night, boys? And he's just like, I just look like his little bitch, like just standing beside him. And then he goes, all right, grab it. So then I just grab the case of beer, turn around, and he goes, see you guys later. We walk out, and I felt like the biggest badass of all time because I was like, no one's gonna fuck with Necro Butcher.
You became a man that day.
Not really. No, I did not. No. When I had my son, I became a man.
Your daughter, you mean?
So thanks for watching Egos Amigos, guys. Sorry, Jeff Cobb. I don't think I'm interviewing you. I'm going to bed. Thanks, Joey.
Oh, you're welcome.
That was a lot of fun.
Disney.
Yeah.